What's going on, fans? We are back with another RNG recruit interview. I have got a very, very special 2025 quarterback joining us tonight, all the way from across the country. This is a high upside quarterback, in my opinion. I can't wait to have him come out and introduce himself. He's out of the state of California. One thing that I will say right away, high IQ, accuracy, timing, vision, dual threat ability. He's got it. We're going to bring him on here to introduce himself right now.
Hey, I'm Bear Bachmeier, class of 2025 quarterback from Southern California, and I go to Murrieta Valley High School.
Hey Bear, thanks for taking the time to join us tonight in this RNG interview to let fans get a little more familiar with you.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on.
No problem, man. No problem. So I always like to start off with what's your current height and weight?
Yeah, so right now I'm 6'2", 215.
Okay. Is that about your general playing weight you like to play around?
I mean, yeah, I just like to be mobile. Whatever weight allows me to just be explosive, and 215 is good for me. So yeah.
Okay. So this off season, what was the focus? If it was technical, if it was, in the weight room, where'd you want to take your game to the next level this off season?
Yeah, no, I definitely, as far as being a quarterback, in the pocket, just having a better pocket presence, just being more deliberate in the pocket, having an intent with what I do, just making quick movements and trying to create torque with limited space, because that you got four big ass D linemen coming down your face, and it's just how can you make a great throw with limited space? So I think that the technicalities with that, and as far as physically with being a quarterback, it's kind of what I've been working on. And then mentally, I've been meeting with my coach, trying to get better at the run game, and protections as well, and knowing where I'm hot, and knowing when to get to my check down. So that's kind of what I've been working on.
Right on. Did you take on any camps this off season?
Yeah, so I only went to one. I went up to Alabama, late June. So that was my only visit this summer. In the spring I did go up to Stanford, but yeah, in the summer it was only Alabama.
Hey man, if you're gonna make a visit, why not Alabama, right?
Yeah, yeah. I know. I got to meet Coach Saban, and that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. That's real cool. So, are you working with any trainers this off season?
Yeah, so I train with 3D QB down in Southern California.
Okay.
And they're great. Just they're probably the most known in the NFL. So I like working.
Yeah, I'm aware of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So 3D, and then I was down in Florida with my brother Hank. We're training with if you're familiar with Coach Will Hewlett.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So down there. Yeah.
Right on, man. Right on. Did you do any 7-on-7 this offseason?
No, so I was out of the circuit this season. I ended up playing with California Power. They invited me out for the last OT7. But that was basically it.
Okay. So, this recruiting process, you're 2025, but man, you've got some amazing offers, Bama and that kind of stuff already coming in, Miami, Michigan, Oregon, Notre Dame, just off the top of my head right now from what I remember, plus a lot more. Are you enjoying this process already as a 2025 quarterback?
Oh yeah, definitely enjoying it. Definitely grateful for every opportunity that I have. Yeah, and definitely enjoying it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, who are these schools that have been showing you a lot of love?
Yeah, I definitely say Alabama and Notre Dame are up there, along with Oregon and Stanford, and then Michigan as well, and Texas A&M probably. Okay. Actually, Coach Dawson, he sent me like a camp invite, but I couldn't get out to Miami. But yeah, definitely those schools.
Yeah, I know it's a little tough, all the way across the country. But I am glad to hear that Dawson extended you that offer, though.
Yeah, no, I was super stoked with that one, and got to get down to Coral Gables one time.
Man, I hope you get to make it down there. I really do.
Yeah.
So, you were actually speaking about working out with your brother down in Florida, Hank. he's been through the college process. You actually have another brother, I believe, who was a 2023 wide receiver at Stanford.
Yep.
So how have your older brothers been able to guide you kind of through this process, and what kind of advice have they been able to give you, through the recruiting process and the development process?
Yeah, no, definitely having obviously Hank and Tiger go through the whole collegiate recruiting process, but I also have an older sister who went through the whole collegiate recruiting process for track and field. So I've had three older siblings go through the whole process, and just
Wow.
watching them go through it, just have a great firsthand experience on it all. And I guess I talk to Hank all the time, just because he's a quarterback, and he talks to me about what would be most beneficial for me. As far as what scheme to play in, or having a great relationship with a coach. So yeah, I'm definitely grateful to have three older siblings to help guide me.
So when you got that Bama offer, as a 2025 quarterback, how did that feel, man? I mean, was that just smile on your face, ear to ear kind of thing? Were you expecting it?
Yeah. So before I went out there, I kind of knew, but I had to wait till I sat down with Coach Saban. And when I sat down with Coach Saban, he offered me, and it was so surreal. I mean, Coach Saban, the GOAT. But yeah, it was great. My family was there, so we were definitely just really happy. And obviously, is big program, so I was stoked for that one.
That's pretty cool. You got to share that experience with your family.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So tell me about this Miami offer. How did you find out about it?
Yeah, so Coach Dawson texted me, and I shot him a call when he was down here in Southern California. I think it was maybe sometime in the spring, but he came down. He came down to my practice, saw me throw, and he really liked me, and that's when he offered me. And yeah, I mean, obviously Miami, the historical dominance you guys have shown. Obviously, I mean, not in the past
It's been tough.
whatever, but yeah, it's been tough. But hopefully get the ball rolling. But yeah, no, I definitely need to go check it out. And I heard it's beautiful down there. So
What do you know about, Coach Cristobal so far?
I mean, not a lot. I've never really spoke to him. I know he was at Oregon.
Yeah.
Now he's at Miami, but not a lot.
Okay. Having a, he by nature, Coach Cristobal, he is an offensive line coach by nature. You being a quarterback, those guys, of course, being up front protecting you and stuff. Does that have any kind of appeal to you to possibly have a future head coach who might be an offensive line coach, a guy who's really focused on making sure that you stay upright?
Oh, definitely 100%. My OC at my high school right now, he's the offensive line coach. And his number one goal is to protect me, and I feel safe having him as my OC and the line coach. And so yes, it's definitely interesting. Yeah.
Who gave you your first offer?
Yeah, so my first offer is actually Boise State. Coach Avalos offered me. Yeah, when Hank was at Boise State.
Yeah.
I went to one of the satellite camps down here in Southern California, in front of Coach Avalos and Coach Plow at the time, and they pulled the trigger. That was my first one.
That's cool. So you got to do that while you were there visiting Hank?
No, so Hank was back up in Boise, but they were at a satellite camp down here in Southern California.
I got you.
Yep.
I got you.
Yeah.
So this last season, for you and your team, how did things go for Murrieta Valley?
Yeah, we got off to a hot start. Began to falter a little in the home stretch, but and then in the first round of playoffs, we got booted first round. It's tough loss. We kind of every game we're in a shootout, which was cool because you put up a lot of numbers. But sometimes you have a bad drive, turnover, or you get a third and whatever, and don't convert. In those games, it's tough to not score every drive. But yeah.
Well, with the amount that you had to pass and stuff, I got to say, I mean, 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions last season? Was that about right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I mean, the accuracy, the IQ, the timing. I mean, obviously they trusted you quite a bit to get that ball out there and get it to your receivers.
Yeah, no, my coach gives me full control of the offense, and obviously we pass for a lot of yards, and I'm glad that I complete a lot of passes.
So, Bear, I'm kind of curious. What gets you most excited on game day? You know, is it pre-game, something that happens in the game? What gets you pumped up the most?
Yeah, it's definitely. So I'm a quarterback, so our schedule is we go out first.
Yeah.
So me and the backup Qs, we go out first, get our warm ups in, but definitely that time right there. The early fans that come in, and then the cheerleaders are out there, and music's bumping. So that time right there is definitely what gets me hyped. And then you see all your guys come in when we're doing full team warm ups and stuff like that. So that time right there is definitely exciting for me.
You know, and I've watched a lot of your film, and you know, you can definitely use your legs as a dual threat type of quarterback. And I'm just kind of curious though, is the ability to buy time behind the line of scrimmage to extend plays downfield, is that something that you're continually working on all the time?
Yeah, I mean, in the game, as far as if you watch my film, I literally like run 5 yards. I usually run 5 yards and then lateral it back.
I saw
I
that a
don't.
couple times. Yeah.
I mean, I do that in practice, but it's not really something that you rep a ton. It's just kind of
Yeah.
like it's just like a playmaker mentality. Um, so I definitely like in practice, like I will do that, but it's not. I don't rep it a lot. You see Patrick Mahomes do a bunch of these flick throws and these no look throws and just different off platform. And he practices them a lot, but it's kind of like when you get in your zone and just like your mentality, just your playmaking ability just takes over in that moment.
So it's more for you just kind of in the rhythm.
Yeah, I'd say so, and just kind of making a play. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, I mean, when quarterbacks have that ability like you have, where you've got that innate sense, you know, to find space and do all that kind of stuff, even creating, you know, behind the line of scrimmage, not just necessarily having to throw backwards, you know, as you go forwards, but creating behind the line of scrimmage, almost like a young Russell Wilson type of thing, you know, huge benefits and that kind of stuff as well. But what I've also noticed is when you take off to run, dude, you take off to run, man. I mean, you have no problem lowering your shoulder and getting those tough yards. Where does that come from you? You know, is that just battling with your older brothers or what?
Yeah, definitely being the younger brother. Always, we have a long hallway in our house, and me and my older brothers just played tackle football in the house, and we had frames up on the walls, and a bunch of frames would be broken down. But definitely, definitely having older brothers, and then you talked about like just the innate just kind of behavior that you have. When I was 5 years old, I used to play, or I played middle linebacker up until I was like eighth grade.
Really?
So I just kind of have that like primitive nature that you kind of play in. And so that's kind of my mentality when I'm playing quarterback and when I'm taking off to run. And then I also wear number 47. So
Yeah.
when I'm running the ball, I mean, you don't want to tackle me, you know.
How do your coaches feel about you taking on those tackles?
Yeah, no. I mean, they don't really have a big problem with it.
That's good. That's good.
My team gets hyped, so definitely it's just exciting when I got the ball in my hands, I guess.
It brings a lot of. I mean, I can see how it can bring life to the offense. Honestly, with the quarterback pushing that hard, yeah. So I mean, if your staff is cool with it, dude, just keep pounding it, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
So in your mind, what do you feel makes an elite quarterback? You know, even the mental, physical side, either or. You know, what do you feel makes a quarterback elite?
Yeah, I think when you get to a certain level, a lot of people can throw the ball really well. But I think what kind of separates, the good ones from the great, is kind of I touched on it earlier in the video, but just being very deliberate in the pocket. I mean, you watch. you watch the Patrick Mahomes, the Aaron Rodgers, even Tom Brady, and like a Caleb Williams. They're just able to create space when there's a hectic pocket, when you have 4 or 5 big ass dudes just run at you to take your heads off. Just staying composed and poised in the pocket, definitely a great factor that ties into being a great quarterback. And then obviously mental. I'm only a high schooler, but Hank's kind of brought down a bunch of knowledge to me, and it's definitely slowed down for me at the high school level. Just watching film and kind of knowing percentages of when they're going to bring blitzes, maybe their boundary team, maybe their field pressure team, and knowing where I can slide protections. So, definitely a mental part. It ties into being a great quarterback.
Absolutely. Love that answer, man. So if you had to describe your game to somebody who has never seen your film, how would you describe your game to them?
Yeah, I definitely say. I mean, I don't like to boast, but I mean, I definitely say I got the whole package. I mean,
yeah.
You talk about, you talk about making on time throws and in rhythm, but then the ability to extend plays and create space and create torque in limited limited space. And then also, if it's a 3rd and 9 and play breaks down or whatever, getting a first down with my legs, I got no problem doing that. So that's kind of what my game is.
So, a big thing, especially at the quarterback position, is leadership. What kind of leader are you? Are you a leader that, leads by example? Are you vocal, or a little mix of both?
Yeah, I definitely say a little mix of both. I think with certain guys, you kind of, I feel like as a quarterback, you have to own the locker room, and I definitely have. I like to say I have a relationship with everybody on the team. Even like the JV players, I'm cool with a lot of them. So I definitely just think owning the locker room, and then just being a vocal leader as well. And taking some accountability and responsibility on your own actions. But yeah, I definitely think that's kind of what ties into being a great leader for the football team.
Now, there's those couple of states that always stand out, powerhouse states. You're in one of them. California, Texas, Georgia, Florida. They all kind of stand out as the powerhouse. In your opinion, as a California player, what makes California high school football so special?
I mean, Southern California, we just got dudes over here. I definitely, not to bag on any other states, but I do think that the quarterbacks in California are the smoothest. I mean, I don't know. I just think that the competitive nature out here in California is definitely different than a lot of other states. Obviously we have Mater Dei and St. John Bosco, who are literally top 2 teams in the nation, and then Corona Centennial, who's usually a top 10 team in the nation. They're literally in my league, so I play them every year. But I just think the way that we compete out here is definitely different from a lot of states.
Do you have any favorite players, guys you like to look up to and maybe take a little bit of their game to add to yours?
Yeah, I definitely like Aaron Rodgers. Just the way he plays, just smooth and poised, and he just plays free. Along with Patrick Mahomes, you watch both of them, and that's kind of what their game is. They just flow. They just really flow, man. And then I like watching my brother Hank as well. Kind of seeing what he does. Obviously, you look at his toughness, and that kind of motivates me to be tough as well, just like my older bro. And then I also like watching Caleb Williams at USC.
Yeah. And from what I remember, Hank, he was at Boise State, and then did he finish off at Louisiana Tech?
Yeah, so he's there right now. He entered the transfer portal last year, so he's there right now.
Awesome. I enjoyed watching him play football, man. His style of football is actually a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm from the Northwest myself, so Boise State ain't that far away.
Got you. Yeah. What made you a Miami fan?
I grew up like 20 minutes south of Seattle, and I have a brother who's 8 years older than me. I'm 40 years old. He's 48. So he saw, even more of the heyday of Miami and all that stuff. And he was so attracted by the swag and all that stuff. He was going to make sure his little brother was going to be a Canes fan. So even in my first grade picture in South Seattle, I'm head to toe in orange and green Canes gear, dude. And it's been that way the rest of my life, man.
Got you.
So, you got a little bit of time here, and it's something, honestly, that can be thought about here. But, you've got this year and your next coming up season. As far as, you creating a legacy for yourself on and off the field, what's your ideal kind of legacy that you would like to leave behind in high school when it's all said and done?
Yeah, definitely just a like that's a good person kind of legacy.
Yeah.
Obviously you do want to have great statistics in high school and put up a lot of numbers. But if you're not a good person, I mean, what's the point? So I definitely think that's kind of what my attitude is just Bear is a great person and a great young man. So yeah.
So what's next for Bear in regards for football? What's next for you?
You mean as far as this upcoming season, or just kind of
Yeah. I mean, are you guys starting, high school stuff kind of starting up now for you guys, or what's going on?
Yeah, so we have this week off, and then we start training camp Monday. Get the ball rolling. We play game the 18th, so that's sort of like 20 some. That's like 20 days.
Yeah.
So it's coming up. Yeah, it's coming up quick.
Wow, man,
Yeah.
20 days. Wow, time's flying.
Yeah, well, some of the college week 0 games they play the 26th, I think. So
This summer has just been a blur to me, honestly. It has
yeah,
just flown by, man.
yeah, me too.
So at this point in the interview, this is a part I like to give recruits a chance to, shout out coaches, shout out parents, shout out anybody who's been there along your journey, who's helped you develop on and off the field as a young man. Go ahead and show them some love.
Oh, I mean, yeah, definitely my family. My mom and dad. And then my 3 brothers and my sister definitely definitely made me the person that I am today. And yeah, definitely grateful for them. Then my coaches, my high school coaches, that down to my guys at Winter Circle, but yeah, I mean, and then my friends as well, I guess. I don't know. I've never really thanked a lot of people, but definitely my family. Yeah, definitely my family.
Yeah, that's a good circle to have, man. It's a good circle. So where can the people find you on social media? Go ahead and plug your social media accounts.
Yeah, so my Instagram and my Twitter is at BearB47. So that's my handle.
Same handles on both?
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, Bear, man, I'm not going to keep you too much longer here. I got one last question for you tonight, and it is a question I ask every single recruit, coach, trainer, don't matter who it is I bring onto this show. It's the same last question every time. Why do you love the game of football? Where do you get that passion to go out and compete at the highest level on a weekly basis?
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's just a part of me. As far as that's what I grew up just loving sports. And then you look at there's this cool quote from David Goggins, and he talks about when I'm religious, so he talks about when you die and you go up to the gates of heaven, and God talks to the person and he shows you a person of who you could be and who his vision of you was. And so definitely having that chip on my shoulder and glorifying God definitely just motivates me and just making my family proud. So
I love that answer. Love that answer, Bear. Well, man, I truly appreciate you taking this time tonight to let fans get a little more familiar with you. I'm super excited to see what you do this upcoming season, man. We're definitely going to be keeping an eye out for you. Definitely
yes,
want to stay in touch, in the future, bring you back on, update fans about your recruitment, your development, all that good stuff,
Yes, sir. 100%. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, man, you have yourself a fantastic night, and we'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you again, Bear. Have a good night.
All right. You too.
All right, guys, that was one of the most in my opinion, one of the most premier 2024 or 2025 quarterbacks coming out of his class. Advanced IQ, advanced vision, advanced arm talent, advanced ball placement, advanced accuracy, runs like a madman. I mean, and I love that his coach, I love that his coaches aren't trying to tell him, hey man, just dip out of bounds or anything like that. They're actually encouraging him to drop his shoulder and kind of teach some DBs and linebackers some lessons. So man, I love to hear that. I really do. That's just football to me, baby. That's just football, and I love hearing it, man. Smash mouth. I'm all about the trenches, all about that war, all about that battle. So thank you guys again for joining us for another RNG recruit interview. Once again, that was 2025 quarterback Bear Bachmeier from Murrieta Valley High School in California. Keep an eye on him, guys. He is a 4-star, and he is an absolute legit high-ranked 4-star. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you guys soon.